The Milky Way had been burning for 300 years. The Korthax hegemony and the Zelethi collective had turned entire star systems into graveyards, their fleets clashing in battles that vaporized planets and extinguished billions of lives. Neither side remembered who fired the first shot anymore. All that remained was hatred encoded into their very DNA through generations of warfare. Earth had watched from the sidelines, ignored by both superpowers. Humans were considered primitive, barely worth a footnote in galactic databases. Their ships were slow, their weapons laughably underpowered, their lifespans pathetically short. When humanity requested observer status at the Galactic Council, both the Korthax and Zelethi delegates had actually laughed. That was their first mistake. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the U.S. Prometheus, humanity's flagship, watching the latest battle unfold on her view screen. A Korthax dreadnought, 3 kilometers of crystalline death, traded plasma volleys with a Zelethi bioship that writhed like a living nightmare through space. Status report, she ordered. Both fleets are fully engaged, Commander, Lieutenant Martinez replied. Casualties approaching 40% on both sides. They haven't noticed us. Chen nodded. Of course they hadn't noticed. The human fleet of 200 ships was a rounding error compared to the thousands of warships tearing each other apart. But humans had learned something in their brief time among the stars. Sometimes the smallest key opens the biggest door. Deploy the package, Chen commanded. From the belly of each human ship, small pods ejected silently into space. No weapon signatures, no energy readings that would trigger alarms. They looked like debris, which was exactly the point. The pods drifted through the battlefield, ignored by combatants focused on annihilating each other. The Korthax and Zelethi had made their second mistake. They'd let humans observe their war for 50 years. 5 decades of studying their tactics, their technology, their psychology. Both species were warriors to their core, bred for conflict, incapable of seeing any solution except victory through superior firepower. Humans, though? Humans were survivors. They were the species that looked at an impossible problem and asked, what if we try something weird? The pods reached their destinations, the command ships of both fleets. They attached to hulls with microscopic filaments, undetected by shields calibrated for energy weapons. Then they began broadcasting. Not weapons fire. Not demands for surrender. Music. Specifically, a carefully crafted sonic frequency that human xenobiologists had discovered after years of studying captured Korthax and Zelethi prisoners. A frequency that triggered dormant neural pathways in both species' brains, evolutionary remnants from before they'd achieved sapience when they'd been prey animals on their respective homeworlds. The effect was immediate and devastating. Aboard both command ships, hardened warriors suddenly found themselves overwhelmed by an inexplicable urge to flee. Panic spread through neural links, cascading through entire fleets. Weapons fire ceased as crews abandoned their posts, desperate to escape from a threat their conscious minds couldn't identify. Within minutes, 2 of the galaxy's most powerful armadas were in full retreat, scattering in opposite directions like schools of frightened fish. Chen opened a channel to both fleets. This is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth. Your war is over. Any vessel that powers weapons will receive a full dose of what you just experienced. Stand down and prepare to negotiate. The responses came quickly. Confusion, rage, demands for explanation. But they came without weapons fire. You see, Chun continued, her voice carrying across thousands of channels. Humans might be new to the galactic stage, but we're very old when it comes to ending conflicts. Sometimes the best way to stop a fight isn't with a bigger gun. Sometimes it's with a dog whistle. As the 2 fleets hung motionless in space, separated and subdued by humanity's psychological warfare, a new chapter in galactic history began. The war that had raged for centuries ended not with a bang, but with a frequency. And across the galaxy, every species would remember, never underestimate the humans. They don't fight fair, they fight smart.